Hey guys, this is reasonable. Here's the thing, I learned when I was in college, I was having this little struggle with my faith. I was trying to figure out whether or not there are some actual intelligent, reasonable defenses for the Christian faith. I was kind of just trying to figure out if it was the real deal or not. And it turns out that it is. There are so many intelligent, reasonable thoughts that can defend major biblical events. And we want to give you guys, in the next 5 minutes or so, a quick rundown of some biblical defenses of the resurrection. Why should we talk about the resurrection?
Well, really, it's the basis of our faith. The idea that Jesus lived, that he died, and that he rose again and is now living next to the Father is what we base our lives off of when we follow him. Like the idea that he is alive right now, like we can have relationship with him, is so important to our Christian walk. So I think that's why we should address it first.
So essentially, if our life was a Jenga set, the resurrection would be the two bottom pieces. And if we were to pull out one, if someone could provide evidence that would disprove the resurrection, then our faith, Paul says, it's worthless.
It's shook.
Yeah. So let's take a look today at 3 evidences for the resurrection of Jesus Christ. The first evidence is eyewitness accounts. It's in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Paul talks about that, and he says this.
Yeah, in verse 5 he says, "And that he appeared," this is Jesus, "appeared to Cephas, then to the 12. Then he appeared to more than 500 brothers at one time, most of whom are still alive, though some have fallen asleep. Then he appeared to James, and then to all of the apostles. Last of all, as to one untimely born, he also appeared to me."
This is amazing. This is like real life. This is people that they named specifically who lived, who were just like you and me, that had flesh and blood, that if we were living in their time, we would know them and we'd be able to talk to them. And in this story, when Paul names these names of people that were still alive, any one of those people could have been like, no, that didn't happen. I wasn't there. And they would have done that, because life as an early Christian was not easy. They wouldn't have just gone with that.
Yeah.
So these eyewitness accounts are an amazing evidence of the resurrection of Jesus.
Second point we have is Saul's conversion in Acts chapter 9. You see, Saul was somebody who was living on a trajectory that was taken in one way, and he was vehemently, that's a big word, opposed. I figure if it's our reasonable segment, I can use big words.
Absolutely.
Vehemently opposed to followers of Jesus. He persecuted them. He was present when Stephen, the first martyr, got stoned and killed. Like, he was heading in a way that would have kept him on this path where he hated Christians and that he would have tried to stop them.
He was literally on a path to Damascus where he was going to persecute Christians. He got approval to drag the Christians out of their homes and arrest them and throw them away, and more than likely be a part of the stonings of them as well. He was on his way to go persecute followers of Jesus when he says Luke says in Acts chapter 9 that this bright light shone and it blinded him, and he says, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" And he said, Who are you? And he says, "It's I, Jesus." And from that moment on, Saul's life changed. From his trajectory, going that way, going one way where he was completely against Jesus, and then to have that flip, and for him to write 2/3 of the New Testament, that is just unreal. Who would do that? And eventually he would be martyred. He'd be killed for his faith. Like, he had money, he had the authority, he was a Pharisee of Pharisees, as he said. He was one of the best. He was on his way to do amazing things for the Jewish people, but God had different plans for him.
That shift, that 180 that he does in his life can only be the result of actual truth. Actual Jesus in the flesh appearing to him. It's the only thing that would have whipped him back the other way. And lastly, we have the martyrdom of the disciples. You see, like David said just a minute ago, following Jesus was not easy. it wasn't easy for Jesus himself, obviously, we could see from his life. And once they finally killed Jesus and they thought they had killed him and were done with him, to have all of these people still following and sharing his ideas was probably not good. They hated that. So they probably went even more, it seems like they went harder after those guys than even they did against Jesus. And you see these disciples put up with so much persecution in the early church, put up with all of these things. And eventually the disciples got martyred. They died for their faith.
Yeah. 11 out of the 12 of them. 11 out of 12 were killed. And the only one that didn't die for their faith in Jesus was John. But not for lack of trying.
They really tried.
They boiled him alive. And then when he didn't die being boiled alive, they exiled him off an island where he wrote the book of Revelation. If you look at these eyewitness accounts, if you look at Saul's conversion, if you look at the martyrdom of the disciples, you can see that there are some very real good evidences that support the resurrection of Jesus. And like we said, everything that we believe rests on this. It was a real and tangible moment in history that actually happened. And as followers of Jesus, that's what we believe. And that it is that resurrection that gives us hope that we too one day will be resurrected in heaven with God forever and ever. Hey, if you want more information on this, we're going to put a link to a YouTube video from Josh McDowell. He is one of the greatest apologists of all time, of our generation at least. And he just has some wonderful, wonderful resources for you guys. We'll put that link below. The video lasts about an hour long, but in this we didn't have too much time to dive into all of these different things. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you guys hit that like button, subscribe. Should we do it?
I'm not going to.
Hit the bell. That really bothers him.
It does. I don't know why.
I'm not sure why.
Like, I want you guys to watch all our content, but something about hitting the bell just bothers, like that phrase.
Just that phrase,
bothers me.
hit the bell?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, subscribe and turn on notifications.
That doesn't bother you?
No.
But hitting the bell?
Yeah. I'm trying to be different. Not like the other YouTubers. I'm different.
Different. Wonderful. Guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless you. We'll see you next time.